What is going on, guys? Andrew Acevedo here, back, and damn, that was a fire intro. And look who's back in his setup. Yep, we are back under the Nemo jersey. We are back. Content is back. Sit-down videos are back. Live streams will be back. MLB The Show live stream will be back this week sometime. But today's video, we are going to talk about some of the news that's happened over the last week in free agency. Noah Syndergaard, I didn't talk about it, I make a video about it, I talked about it on Mets Weekly, signing with the Angels, Justin Verlander re-signing with the Astros for a 1-year, $25 million, Eduardo Rodriguez, 5 years, $77 million with the Detroit Tigers. But those are all past, and time has kind of happened for those trades and transactions. We're going to talk about a few different happened in the last 48 hours, and let's start off with the former Met, Aaron Loup, the second in UFA for the New York Mets, to sign with the LA Angels on a 2-year, $17 million deal. A lot of Mets fans up and, oh man, how could we let Aaron Loup go? And it sucks, obviously, to not be able to keep Aaron Loup. I thought he would be a guy that the Mets would love to bring back, but at 2 years at $17 million, it's a great deal for Loup. But again, bullpen guys are so risky, where it's like, even though he's a left-hand and he's so valuable to find lefties in the bullpen, obviously the guys like Jerry Blevins and Daniel Zamora and Justin Wilson, so the Mets have had a ton of lefties, and Aaron Loup had a tremendous year, sub-1 ERA, had an amazing year for the Mets, but again, age is kind of a concern. He is 34, going to be 34 years old next year. A 2-year deal, $17 million bucks. You know, it's a great deal for about $8 million per year. I mean, I'm not going to give you the exact math, but, you know, you could say it as a few other things. But I think it's a good deal for Aaron Loup. The Angels, I guess, that could be one piece of their bullpen. You know, Razel Iglesias declined the qualifying offer. So, you know, they're trying to find pitching. I know a lot of people are like, wow, you know, the Mets signed Billy Epler as their GM, and then their team, his old team, seems to be signing all of the Mets free agents they should be signing. But they do not. Again, obviously, it sucks as a Mets fan. You got to figure out, maybe do they pivot to a Andrew Chafin or a Jake Diekman, who I prefer. Maybe they go Andrew Miller. There's some names out there, and, you know, I think Diekman and Chafin are the two best options. But, you know, Andrew Miller, there's some lower end guys. Maybe a Rich Hill returns as maybe a lefty in the bullpen. You know, Steven Matz could be an option. I hope he doesn't sign with the Mets. Please go anywhere else. Especially potentially what the contract could be is higher than one of the guys we're going to talk about who signed today or the other day. Let's move on, and that was from Ken Rosenthal, and I think the team actually was the first team to, they posted the Aaron Loup deal. So obviously it's a Mets channel, but the biggest news of the day is Wander Franco, the Tampa Bay Rays stud shortstop, former number 1 overall prospect, made his debut this year, has signed the Rays, and Wander Franco is in an agreement for a 12-year, $185 million deal, which the deal would be worth a maximum of $223 million deal. It's done, pending physical, and then Jeff Passan puts out tweets. A lot of difference. Wander Franco is pretty much, the final numbers are 11 years at $182, guaranteed, with a $25 million club option for the 12th year. The deal can max out at $223. There are a $3 million $3 million bonus if he finishes 1 through 5 in MVP in 2028. Wander Franco does not have a no-trade clause in this mega deal. There is a $3 million assignment bonus if he is dealt. And if he remains with the Rays through 2031, he will get a 10-5 rights that allows him to block any trade, kind of like how Max Scherzer got it for the Dodgers, for the Nationals, at this trade deadline, meaning he can block any trade. So, all of that pretty much said, Wander Franco got paid, and I've seen a lot of Mets fans, and I'm mostly Mets. Again, this is a great deal for the Rays. The Rays don't spend money, and this is their franchise player, and they actually do. They did the same thing with Evan Longoria, where they gave him an extension, but this is a monster deal for the Tampa Bay Rays to give Wander Franco 12 years and $200 million. I mean, I love it. I think it's a great deal. This is what, you know, the Tatis contract should have looked like, to be honest. You know, Tatis gets $300 million, you know, whatever, $330 or whatever, $325, whatever it ended up being, where you're seeing guys in like Acuna, Albies, these guys who are signing pretty much after the rookie year, buying out the ARB years, and then adding a couple years, and he's not even 21 yet. That's the best thing. He won't even be 21 until the season starts. So that's kind of crazy to think. Like, he won't even be 21, and you gave him a 12-year deal. He'd be paying him, he's 32. And, like, Wander Franco has all the most untapped potential. God knows what he can be when he's 26, when he's in his prime. Switch hitter, hit for power, hit from average, struggled his first week in the big leagues, but then had, like, that crazy rookie on base streak, and he hit for power, showed up in the postseason with some big homers, big hits for the Rays. And, again, it's refreshing to see the Rays spend some money. Do I expect him to be a Ray for those 12 years? I would love to see Wander stay in Tampa Bay, but it's just kind of crazy to think the Rays actually gave a 12-year deal to someone. But, again, the Rays, in full no, there's no new trade, so, again, but if he does extend, he gets the 10-5 rights, which is great to see for Mr. Wander Franco. Some smaller thing, I guess now we'll get to a couple other things. I want to talk about Clint Frazier getting cut by the New York Yankees. I always I've said on Twitter, I would love the Mets to jump on him as an extra fourth outfielder. I've always loved Clint Frazier since he was a top prospect with Cleveland, so I've always had a thing for Clint Frazier, and I just think he's never got a fair shot with the Yankees, obviously with Judge and Stanton in the outfield, and Aaron Hicks when he's on the field has been a blockade, Brett Gardner, so I don't think he's gotten a fair shot, but he's a guy that I would love if low risk, high reward. I'd try to. I wouldn't guarantee him Conforto. I've seen a couple guys go, he should be Conforto's replacement. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying he could be like the Kevin Pillar and the Albert Almora replacement, where like he has some potential. He still has a lot of. He's 27, so he's still in his prime. And if you give him some time, play against lefties. He was a Gold Glove finalist I think 2 years ago defensively. So and he was one of the worst defenders. And kind of like I said about Brandon Nimmo, where he was one of the worst defensive defenders in the league, and then was nominated for a Gold Glove. And I'm not saying awards mean anything, but it's still cool to see him progress defensively and offensively. Kind of regress, but again, he's had concussion problems, had problems with the Yankees, and he was officially cut today. I would love to see at least the Mets show some interest in him. I'm not saying guarantee him a spot, but it'd be an interesting guy to replace, kind of like the Kevin Pillar role. Let's get to a couple other moves. Let's talk about the San Francisco Giants retaining a couple of their starters. Not the big guy in Kevin Gausman, but they do retain. Let's talk Alex Wood to a 2-year, $10 million deal. Similar source, familiar to the source, tells ESPN. Robert Murray was the first, and they also signed Anthony DiStefani to a 3-year, $36 million deal for the 31-year-old right-hander. So, obviously, the Giants are waiting for Kevin Gausman. That is their ace. That is their best pitcher on the rotation. Maybe Logan Webb, you can make the argument Logan Webb is the ace of that staff. But Kevin Gausman's pitched really well the 2 years in San Francisco, and he's going to be one of the higher sought-after names, especially how the pitching market has gone. He is a very, very sought-after name. And now them getting DiStefani, Tony Disco done. They re-sign Alex Wood. So they add a couple. They keep a couple of the pitchers they have in their rotation. The biggest question is, will they be able to retain Gausman? I don't think they will. I think Gausman is going to end up leaving. But it is good to see the Giants trying to keep that core together as much as possible, even though, again, that they're probably going to lose Kevin Gausman. As I'm trying to find the last thing we're going to talk about. Actually, I'm going to talk about two things. But again, Alex Wood, a funky left, another lefty, and the Mets fan. Again, the starting rotation market seems to be flying early. Again, we have till December 2nd or December 1st. The lockout's coming. So I'm loving seeing guys getting deals done, and supposedly Corey Seager could be done. Javi Baez could be signed before the deadline. Maybe a potential we'll talk about in a second, a potential Craig Kimbrell trade could be in the works. The Mets potentially going after another lefty and potentially Craig Kimbrell. As I'm trying to find this tweet about the other guy we wanted to talk about today, which was Kendall Graveman, supposedly signing with the Chicago White Sox. As I'm trying to find the tweet. Excuse me, guys, but I'm just trying. But yeah, Kendall Graveman was supposed to sign with the Chicago White Sox. But again, for the Giants, good, be able to keep their two guys. Obviously, you want to add more. Obviously, Graveman is the main, not Graveman, Gausman is the main piece in that rotation. They want to keep him, but I just think he will be, him and Stroman, I think, are the two most willing guys, the top two guys in the market right now. And it's just kind of crazy to think that those guys are going to go. If like I said, Syndergaard and Verlander got $20+ million for both of them, and I get they have reputations, but they've pitched a total of 2 innings, where guys like Gausman and Stroman have had great years, which will be better on their arms, so potentially big deals for those guys. But again, it's the Giants re-signing. And the last official signing is, per John Heyman, the Chicago White Sox have signed Kendall Graveman to a 3-year, $24 million deal. I always, if you watched my video and watched Mets Weekly, I was a big fan of Kendall Graveman to be one of the better arms on the market in the bullpen. And $8 million per year for a guy. The White Sox have a great bullpen. As of now, if they keep their guy, which we're going to talk about potentially them not keeping all of them, Hendricks, Graveman, Kimbrel, Kopech, Crochet, those are 5 of the nastiest relievers in the game in one bullpen. Like, this is a huge deal for the White Sox to continue to add depth in their bullpen. Obviously, Ryan Tepera, they acquired him from the Cubs, and he's going to be a free agent, so it kind of sucks, but replacing Tepera or Graveman, I think that's a great acquisition for them. Obviously, they have the great lineup. Maybe they potentially make a trade, which we're going to talk about in a second, about potentially Craig Kimbrel getting moved, because supposedly I had the tweet here. Again, I wish I was more prepared sometimes, but here it is from Mike Hawk of MLB Network. Sources have informed me that the Mets and the Phillies are heavily pursuing White Sox reliever Craig Kimbrel. As mentioned, checked in. The Dodgers and the Red Sox have also checked in, but the two NL East rivals have had the most interest as of now. This guy is, again, the MLB Network Inside Host on Wednesdays. Again, I thought it was a meme account, but it is. He does have some kind of credibility, and then he actually came out 4 hours later, an hour later. The Phillies package is rumored to be centered around Gene Segura. So if the Mets are trying, the Mets fans have killed the Mets right now, and Sandy Alderson and Billy Epler and Steve Cohen, where they haven't made a move yet. Obviously Billy Epler was the long GM slash president of baseball ops Chase. They finally have found Billy Epler. Could Craig Kimbrel be the first move? Obviously they want to get pitching, so potentially Steven Matz is going to be signing tomorrow, which we'll get another video tomorrow about if any more moves trade. I think the next 7 days, you're going to see videos every day or every other day if moves get made, and hopefully the Mets are making some moves so I can make Mets individual videos. But potentially Craig Kimbrel on the move, after the White Sox acquire Graveman, I would think they would want to keep the Super bullpen, but I guess not. Maybe financially, moving a Kimbrel could be what's best for the White Sox. So, that is all the news of now. Obviously, tomorrow, if more moves are made, I will make a video. If the Mets make a move, that gets its own individual video. But I am back. Content's going to be flying out. There's more hockey, more wrestling, obviously, and obviously MLB news, rumors, Mets stuff. And MLB The Show is returning, so thank you guys for watching. Be sure to drop a like, tell a friend to subscribe, because we want to get to I want to get to 500 by opening day. I'm at 260. Come on, guys. If you guys are new, be sure to drop a like. Be sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.